What's up, guys? This is Bolt Struck with Duck, and don't let Joe Ortiz and the Chargers get hot. So I am here today with a free agency update, recap, whatever you want to call it. So in my last video, I was pretty negative, like most Chargers fans were, just on the fact that we had $90 million in cap space and didn't make any big splashes. Right, we had the re-sign of Poona Ford, Khalil Mack, which was great. Signing of Najee Harris, which is fine, above average. No splash signings. So while still no splash signings, we've finally addressed some positions of need. So starting off with Mekhi Benton. So he is going to play. There's some speculation on whether he plays left guard, right guard. Doesn't matter to me. He can play left guard, right guard, center, wide receiver if he's up for it. Point being, this is a really good player. I believe he's 27 years old, so still young. And to give Joe Ortiz the credit where credit is deserved is, despite the fact I think he's missed out on some guys he should have picked up, his deals have been tremendous. I believe everyone, except for the Khalil Mack re-signing, has been under $10 million a year. So to keep some perspective, Kevin Zeiter, I believe is how you pronounce it, Zeitler, is a older player, I believe lower mid-30s, like 34, something like that. Signed a one-year deal for about $9.4 million, which people were saying the Chargers should have done. And so the Chargers got Mekhi Benton, who is a much younger player, on a 2-year deal for around the same average value. Same thing, Najee Harris. Again, I wasn't the biggest fan of the signing, but getting a 1,000-yard rusher who has never missed an NFL game for under $10 million a year, I'm all for. And one real quick last thing about Mekhi Benton, kind of funny, is I saw someone, if you haven't seen the video of him meeting Jim Harbaugh, watch it. Jim Harbaugh looks tiny. And keep in mind, Jim Harbaugh, former ex-NFL quarterback. So he's no small, regular-sized guy, right? But so Mekhi Benton is 6'7", but if he were to play on the left side at left guard, he'd have to look up to his left tackle in Joe Alt, who is 6'8". So how cool is that, right? Pretty fun fact. And then keeping along the same line of a signing at a position of need at a great value, Mike Williams is back. So I know Chargers fans are torn. I'm just like, as a pure fan, so incredibly glad to have him back. Just one of my favorite players. Seems like such a good guy. I think an added bonus is he's going to help recruit Keenan, who I would still like back. Plus, again, wide receiver, position of need, great value. I believe it's up to about $7 million, which a lot of that is incentive-based, so it could be less. I mean, fantastic steal for a guy who just 2 years ago, they were paying over $20 million a year. Plus, he has the chemistry with Herbert. We had no deep threat last year, so some of those jump balls, questionable called jump balls to QJ, can now go to Mike Williams, who, believe this or not, in his career, catches jump balls over 20-plus yards, 0 career drops. Literally one of the greatest jump ball receivers of all time. So I will take that any day of the week. You know, you can throw, not that the fader out in the end zone is a high level play, but I think it gives you a little bit of diversity in the red zone. And honestly, with him, it's not a low percentage throw. And again, just the ability to, even without tremendous speed, stretch the field, which is something they couldn't do last year because they had no speed, they had no jump ball threat. So you could stretch the field, leave some of the shorter stuff open. Especially, it would help complement a guy like Ladd McConkey in the way that Mike Williams helped complement Keenan Allen. So huge fan of both those signings. I've also signed a couple depth piece D tackles, which is fine. But Chargers still have around $58 million in cap space. So my non-negotiables are, got to pick up a center. You know, I know we re-signed Bradley Bozeman. I would assume that's as a backup, and he's a good locker room guy. So I would say still got to pick up a center, either re-sign J.K. Dobbins or draft a running back really early. And then I think you got to both draft a tight end and pick up a tight end, and I would like to bring back Keenan. So that's a long laundry list, but the Chargers have the money to do it. So you can bring back Keenan, who I think would come back on a reasonable deal, especially Joe Ortiz seems to be able to do that. Plus now he has his friend in Mike Williams back. Plus we know he likes LA and the Chargers, be able to finish his career there. So bring back Keenan Allen, get a center in free agency, get a tight end in free agency. The two rumors are Mark Andrews of the Ravens, Dallas Goedert of the Eagles. Get either. Just get the Chargers someone. I'd even love a Gerald Everett back, right? Just bring back, I made this joke on Twitter, but it's like, hey, all these other teams, Joe Burrow just had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins signed, and the Chargers are like, let's just get an older version of the skill player group that Justin Herbert had 2 years ago as his help. But again, I'm being a little joking, a little serious, but I would love Keenan Allen back. I think Gerald Everett just plays with a lot of heart. So Gerald Everett, Dallas Goedert, Mark Andrews would be good. And then some center. And then again, with running back, either address it in the draft or bring back J.K. Dobbins on a reasonable deal. But you tell me, how do you feel about I think we all agree the Mekhi Benton signing is awesome. How do you feel about the Mike Williams signing? Let me know down in the comments below. Who do you think we should pick up for the rest of free agency? And make sure to like the video, subscribe for more Chargers content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.